goes inside and throws it down.
He's a monster down there.
Final second, Schroeder, blocked by Bridges.
I mean, we're going to fight. That's our identity. That is us.
Come on.
We really do have some great matchups lined up tonight. LeBron and the Lakers take on LaMelo and the Hornets. That's in Charlotte. And then in Cleveland, the Cavaliers, they look to turn around their skid. They host Cade Cunningham and the Pistons. Meanwhile, the Rockets, they face a tough test in Boston. And in New York, the Grizzlies, they meet the Knicks at MSG. Ja Morant versus Jalen Brunson under the bright lights. I cannot wait. And now we get to welcome in a double dose of Tims. Tim McMahon, Tim Bontemps here joining us to preview these games. Gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping by. Let's start with the Grizzlies taking on the Knicks at MSG. McMahon. Ja will have a little extra protection, right? Zach Edey, what can you tell us about their relationship?
Well, listen, Ja Morant declared that Zach Edey is the enforcer on the Grizzlies. It's nice to have that in a 7'4", 300-pound package. But Drew Eubanks for the Jazz was giving Ja a hard time the other night. And Edey goes over after this little scene and says, hey, is this guy bothering you? So next thing you know, Edey gave him a little business under the basket, and Eubanks responded like that. And you knew that Edey was coming in with size and some skill for a big man. They needed somebody to replace that nastiness that Steven Adams had, and he has stepped into that void.
The nastiness that Steven Adams had. I like that. Speaking of big men, let's keep on this subject here, Tim Bontemps. The Knicks, they've been without Mitchell Robinson all year. What's the latest on that front?
Well, it's funny, Malika, we talk so much about the depth of the Knicks from their starting five perspective, right? And the fact that they've had that group of Karl Towns, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Jalen Brunson on the court so much this season. But maybe the most critical thing for this team going forward is the status of Mitchell Robinson, who Tom Thibodeau said late last week is still not returned to practice, is still waiting to get cleared for both a return to contact and a return to full practice. And the Knicks also have to make a decision overall on the status of Mitchell Robinson between now and the trade deadline, because he's the one piece over $10 million that if the Knicks want to go out and make a significant addition to add to their depth behind that starting five, something that we've talked about a lot over the past couple of months, he is the logical piece to go out in a potential deal. So one way or the other, the status of Mitchell Robinson is going to be critical to the Knicks' future, and we'll see over the next couple of weeks what that means towards his availability for this Knicks team.
All right, the Grizzlies and the Knicks, that's certainly one exciting matchup on the docket tonight. But the Celtics, they take on the red-hot Rockets at home. And we've talked about Boston's struggles a little bit here recently, 13-10 over their last 23 games. I'm going to stick with you here, Bontemps. Are they concerned about this dip in January?
I would say there's some slight concern, right?
Okay.
I mean, you mentioned it. The Celtics are 13-10 going back all the way to December 7th. That's a 46-win pace over the course of 82 games. That is not the level that this Celtics team expects to be at. But this is a team that has played an absolute ton of games in the playoffs over the past several years. This is a group that went all the way to the finals last year, then had multiple guys play in the Olympics, then went to Abu Dhabi at the start of the season in the preseason for their overseas trip. So I think there's some fatigue that's set in.
Yeah.
And overall, this is a team that has just not made three-point shots over that stretch. They're in the bottom 10 in the league in three-point percentage. But with all that being said, they're in the top 10 in offense, they're in the top 10 in defense over that stretch, and they're third in net rating. So for all the issues they've had, they still look like an elite team, and ultimately, the Celtics believe if they're healthy when they get to the playoffs, they're going to be good enough to take on anybody.
Yeah, it's sort of one of those things where over the course of an 82-game season, it's hard to keep that elite focus the entire time. Maybe this is just that little mid-season slip that we're seeing, but you can't afford to do that against the Rockets here, Tim McMahon. They have been one of the best up-and-coming teams over the last 2 years, really. What's been the most surprising part, maybe, of their rise?
You know, I think that they've gotten this good this soon without making a massive trade. And they went into the season really wanting to give this young group a chance to grow together and wanting a full year to evaluate this, declaring, hey, we're not going to make a core-altering deal. You've seen Jalen Green put together one of the best stretches of his career. And then this guy, Amen Thompson. When you talk about Rockets Foundation, he is usually the first name that comes up. They are 11-3 with him in the starting lineup. He does not have a jump shot. He has everything else, and you can see his confidence growing and growing and growing. Same with his impact. It's going to be hard to ever get this guy out of the starting lineup for a long time in Houston.
Tim McMahon, Tim Bontemps, thank you so very much. Let's focus in a little bit on the stars in these matchups, right? Jason Tatum joined elite company this weekend with 13,000 career points before turning 27. He now stands alone alongside legends like LeBron, Kobe, KD, Carmelo, Wilt, T-Mac, Tatum, youngest Celtics star to hit that milestone. Now going head-to-head with Amen Thompson and the Rockets tonight. That's going to be a good one. Perk, who sends the message in this one?
I'm gonna go with the Celtics. The Celtics are gonna send a message. They back at home. Rockets coming in. They're gonna be fired up. The building gonna be rocking. They're gonna win in good fashion.
You know, I'm going to go with the Rockets. I think when you get home after a long road trip, sometimes you have a little dip in your game.
Yep.
Plus, I think the defense that the Rockets play on the perimeter is going to give them fits. But I think we're missing the most important story of the day, though. Our point guard, you guys, it's her birthday. It's Malika's birthday.
Yeah, I know. That's what it is.
And she would do nothing better to do on your birthday than work sitting next to me with Perk, with Booze.
There's nothing I would rather do than hang out with you guys. I appreciate it. I love all of you and everybody at home.
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just want to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. I also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.